The ghost ship awakens. The Jupiter monitoring station Delta 9 floated serenely in the orbit of Europa, its sensors eternally scanning the depths of space. Lieutenant Commander Maria Vasquez stifled a yawn as she reviewed the night's logs. February 14, 2195. Another Valentine's Day spent staring at empty space, searching for anomalies that never came. That changed at precisely 3:47 Earth Standard Time. The proximity alarm shrieked through the station, jolting Vasquez from her half-dozed state. Her coffee mug clattered to the floor as she lunged for the console. The long-range sensors displayed something impossible, a massive energy signature materializing from what appeared to be nowhere. "Control, this is Delta 9, Vasquez called, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We have an unidentified contact emerging from. I'm not even sure how to describe this. It's like space is folding in on itself." The response from Earth Command came immediately. "Delta 9, clarify your last transmission. Are you reporting a wormhole event?" Vasquez watched the data stream across her screens. "Negative. Control. This is something else entirely. The quantum readings are off the charts. Wait, I'm getting an identification beacon." Her breath caught in her throat as the computer decoded the signal. The registration number belonged to the Horizon Pioneer, an exploration vessel that had vanished without a trace 37 years ago during humanity's first deep space expedition beyond the Oort cloud. Within hours, the fastest response ship in the fleet, the Artemis, launched from Mars Orbital Station with a crew of 30 specialists. Captain David Chen stood on the bridge, watching the mysterious vessel grow larger on the view screen. The Horizon Pioneer hung motionless against the starfield, its hull gleaming with an otherworldly iridescence that hadn't been part of its original design. "Sensors, report," Chen ordered. Lieutenant Kim tapped her console rapidly. "Sir, the ship's structure has been altered. The hull appears to be composed of a metallic substance our scanners can't identify. Power readings are stable but using an energy signature we've never encountered. And there's something else. The ship seems to be generating its own gravitational field independent of its mass." As the Artemis drew closer, the true extent of the transformation became apparent. The once familiar lines of the Earth vessel had been reshaped into flowing, organic curves. Crystalline protrusions dotted the hull like technological coral, pulsing with soft blue light that seemed to respond to their approach. "Life signs?" Chen asked. "Uncertain, sir. Our scanners are having difficulty penetrating the hull, but I'm detecting organized energy patterns that could indicate biological activity." The boarding team consisted of 8 specialists, Commander Sarah Webb leading, accompanied by Dr. James Okafor, xenobiologist, Dr. Elena Petrov, physicist, Lieutenant Miguel Santos, security, Dr. Yuki Tanaka, medical officer, Chief Engineer Robert McAllister, communications officer Aisha Patel, and systems analyst Marcus Wong. They approached in an armored shuttle, magnetic clamps ready to attach to the transformed hull. As they neared, a section of the ship's surface simply flowed open like liquid metal, creating a perfect docking port. "Well," Webb muttered, "that's new." Inside, they found themselves in corridors that defied conventional architecture. The walls curved and flowed, composed of the same iridescent material as the hull. Soft illumination emanated from everywhere and nowhere, casting no shadows. The air was fresh, with a slight ozone tang that reminded Webb of thunderstorms. Temperature 22 degrees Celsius. Atmosphere composition optimal for human life, Tanaka reported. "But I'm detecting trace elements that don't match any known compounds." They moved deeper into the ship, passing through areas that should have been familiar, but were now utterly alien. The mess hall had become a garden of crystalline structures that hummed with harmonic frequencies. The engineering bay resembled a fusion of organic growth and advanced technology, with conduits that pulsed like arteries. In what had once been the medical bay, they found the first sign of the crew. 12 transparent pods lined the walls, each containing a human form suspended in a shimmering field. Unlike traditional stasis, these people showed no signs of aging. Their skin bore intricate patterns of luminescent lines that seemed to pulse in sync with the ship's energy. Their vital signs are impossible, Tanaka whispered, studying her scanner. Neural activity is off the charts, but organized in patterns I've never seen. It's like their consciousness has been expanded or connected to something larger. At the center of the chamber stood a larger pod, more ornate than the others. Inside floated Captain Eva Rostova, the legendary commander who had led humanity's first deep space mission. Her eyes suddenly snapped open, glowing with the same ethereal light as the ship itself. The pod began to dissolve, its material flowing away like water. Rostova stepped out with fluid grace, her movements carrying an otherworldly precision. When she spoke, her voice resonated with harmonics that seemed to bypass their ears and speak directly to their minds. "Welcome aboard the Horizon Pioneer," she said, a smile playing across her features. "Though I suppose that name no longer quite fits what we've become." Webb stepped forward cautiously. "Captain Rostova, we're from Earth Command. You've been missing for 37 years. What happened to you and your crew?" Rostova's expression shifted between amusement and something deeper, perhaps pity or concern. 37 years. For you, perhaps. For us, it has been both an eternity and an instant. Time flows differently when you touch the fabric of reality itself. The ship suddenly vibrated with a deep, resonant tone. Holographic displays materialized in the air, showing star charts and data streams in languages that hurt the eyes to look at directly. The boarding team instinctively stepped back as more pods began to open. "Don't be afraid," Rostova assured them. "What we encountered out there, beyond the veil of known space, it changed us, yes, but it also showed us the true potential of humanity. We were chosen, you see, chosen to be the bridge between what we are and what we could become." Dr. Petrov, unable to contain her scientific curiosity, approached one of the holographic displays. "This mathematics, it's using principles that shouldn't exist in our universe. 11-dimensional calculations, quantum superposition on a macro scale. The beings we encountered," Rostova continued, "they exist partially outside our dimensional framework. They call themselves the Void Dwellers, not a translation, exactly, but the closest our upgraded minds can approximate. They've been watching our species for millennia, waiting for us to reach a certain threshold of development." The newly awakened crew members began to gather, each moving with the same fluid grace as their captain. Their eyes all carried that same inner light, and when they spoke, their voices harmonized in ways that created meaning beyond words. "They saved us," one crew member explained, his identity tag reading Lieutenant Viktor Sokolov. "Our ship was caught in a quantum storm, a phenomenon we didn't even know existed. We should have been torn apart at the subatomic level, but they intervened. They offered us a choice: perish in the storm or accept their gift and become something more." Webb's communicator crackled with static. "Commander Webb, this is Artemis. We're detecting massive energy buildup throughout the Pioneer structure. Something's happening." Before Webb could respond, the ship's interior transformed. Walls became transparent, revealing the vast machinery of alien technology that now powered the vessel. Energy conduits pulsed with colors beyond the visible spectrum. At the heart of it all, a sphere of impossible complexity rotated slowly, its surface covered in ever-shifting geometric patterns. "The Nexus Core," Rostova explained. "A quantum consciousness interface that connects us to the Void Dwellers network. Through it, we can access knowledge spanning millions of years and countless civilizations. But more importantly, it allows us to help prepare humanity for what's coming." "What's coming?" Webb demanded. Rostova's expression darkened. "A convergence. The barriers between dimensions are weakening. Entities from other realities are pressing against the boundaries of our universe. The Void Dwellers have been holding them back, but they need allies. They need species capable of thinking beyond their dimensional limitations. The boarding team exchanged alarmed glances. This was far beyond a simple rescue mission or scientific discovery. They were standing at the threshold of a cosmic revelation that would change humanity forever. Why us? Dr. Okafor asked. Out of all the species in the galaxy, why choose humanity? A smile returned to Rostova's face. Because we dream. Because we imagine. Because when faced with the impossible, we don't just adapt, we innovate. The Void Dwellers have watched civilizations rise and fall, but few possess our unique combination of logic and creativity, of individual ambition and collective cooperation. The ship shuddered again, and warning symbols flashed across the alien displays. Rostova's expression turned serious. The convergence accelerates. We return now because humanity must make a choice. Remain isolated and face extinction when the barriers finally collapse, or join the greater cosmic community and help defend reality itself. Webb straightened, years of training taking over. What do you need from us? To listen, to learn, to prepare. Rostova gestured, and the sphere at the ship's heart pulsed brighter. A Horizon Pioneer will remain in Earth orbit, serving as an embassy and training center. Those who are ready will undergo the transformation, becoming bridges between humanity and the Void Dwellers. Together, we will face what comes. As the boarding team prepared to return to the Artemis with this world-changing news, they couldn't help but wonder, was humanity truly ready for such a momentous leap? The answer, they knew, would determine not just the fate of their species, but perhaps the fate of reality itself. The ghost ship had awakened, bringing with it gifts beyond imagination and warnings of trials to come. Earth would never be the same again. Secrets of the Void Dwellers. The United Earth Council convened an emergency session. Every major leader present either physically or via quantum-encrypted hologram. The footage from the Artemis played on massive screens, showing the transformed Horizon Pioneer and its altered crew. President Maria Delgado of the United Americas watched Captain Rostova's glowing eyes with a mixture of fascination and concern. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral Zhang Wei addressed the assembly. What you're seeing is confirmed by multiple sources. The Horizon Pioneer has returned, fundamentally changed by alien technology. The question before us is, how do we proceed? Back aboard the Pioneer, Captain Rostova stood before a gathering of Earth's top scientists and military officials who had been cleared for first contact. Her transformed crew moved around the conference chamber, adjusting holographic displays that showed impossible geometries and star maps of regions unknown to human astronomy. To understand what we've become, Rostova began, you must first understand the nature of the Void Dwellers. She gestured, and the central hologram shifted to show beings of pure energy, their forms constantly shifting between geometric patterns and organic shapes. They exist in what they call the interstitial realm, the space between dimensions. Imagine reality as a series of bubbles in a cosmic foam. We live inside one bubble. They exist in the spaces between all bubbles. From their perspective, they can see and access multiple realities simultaneously. Dr. Petrov, now leading the scientific delegation, raised her hand. Captain, how did you first encounter them? Rostova's expression grew distant. We were mapping quantum fluctuations near the edge of the Oort cloud when our sensors detected something that shouldn't exist, a fold in space-time that wasn't a black hole or any known phenomenon. As we investigated, our ship was pulled into what we now know was a dimensional breach. She waved her hand, and the hologram displayed the original Horizon Pioneer being engulfed by ribbons of impossible light. We should have been destroyed instantly. The forces involved were beyond anything our shields could handle, but at the moment of our seeming destruction, they reached out. They caught us. Lieutenant Viktor Sokolov stepped forward. The experience defies description in human language. Imagine suddenly being able to perceive colors beyond the visible spectrum, to hear harmonies in the quantum foam itself. Our consciousness expanded exponentially. The first communication was overwhelming. Rostova continued. They don't use words or even thoughts as we understand them. They communicate through direct transfer of concepts and experiences. In that first moment, we understood more about the nature of reality than humanity had learned in its entire history. The hologram shifted to show complex diagrams of consciousness patterns. They offered us integration, not assimilation, but enhancement. Our bodies were rebuilt at the cellular level, incorporating their technology. Our minds were expanded to process multidimensional information. But most importantly, we retained our humanity, our individual identities. General Morrison of Earth Defense leaned forward. What's the catch? In our experience, nothing comes for free. Rostova nodded. You're right. The Void Dwellers need us. They've been guardians of dimensional stability for eons, preventing entities from other realities from breaking through and causing catastrophic damage. But they're stretched thin. The convergence they warned about is a multiversal event that threatens all realities simultaneously. She gestured, and the hologram displayed a terrifying sight. Tears in the fabric of space, with writhing shadows pressing against the boundaries. These entities come from realities with different physical laws, different concepts of existence. If they break through in large numbers, they could unravel the very fabric of our universe. Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's leading quantum physicist, studied the readings. The energy requirements to maintain these barriers must be astronomical. Beyond astronomical, Rostova confirmed. The Void Dwellers use the energy of entire star systems to power their defensive networks. But they need more than raw power. They need creative problem-solving, adaptive thinking. That's where humanity comes in. She touched a control, and the chamber transformed. The walls became transparent, revealing the full scope of the ship's alien modifications. Crew members demonstrated abilities that defied physics, manipulating matter at the molecular level, interfacing directly with computer systems through thought alone, even briefly phasing through solid objects. The consciousness transfer technology doesn't just enhance our abilities, Rostova explained. It creates a symbiotic relationship. We provide the Void Dwellers with our uniquely human perspective, our innovative thinking. They provide us with access to technologies and knowledge that would take us millions of years to develop on our own. Dr. Tanaka, observing the biological readings of the transformed crew, asked, "What about the physical changes? Are they reversible?" "Partially," Rostova answered. "The base modifications are permanent. Our cells have been fundamentally altered to process multidimensional energy, but we can appear fully human when needed." She demonstrated, her glowing patterns fading until she looked exactly as she had 37 years ago. The discussion was interrupted by an alarm. Navigator Anya Volkov, her eyes flashing with inner light, announced, "Captain, we're detecting a dimensional fluctuation in Sector 7G Class 3 breach attempting to form." Rostova turned to the Earth delegation. "Would you like to see why the Void Dwellers chose us?" Before anyone could object, the ship's systems engaged. Reality seemed to twist, and suddenly they were light years away, facing a tear in space that pulsed with malevolent energy. Through the breach, tentacle-like appendages of dark matter reached into our universe. "Watch," Rostova commanded. The Pioneer's crew sprang into action with perfect coordination. Engineers McAllister and Wong interfaced directly with the ship's systems, their consciousness merging with the alien technology. Scientists worked in harmony with tactical officers, analyzing the breach while calculating optimal closure patterns. What happened next demonstrated the perfect fusion of human ingenuity and alien technology. Instead of simply applying brute force, the crew created a resonance pattern that used the breach's own energy against it. They turned the invasion into a mathematical problem, solving equations that existed in 11 dimensions simultaneously. Within minutes, the breach collapsed, the invading entities forced back into their own reality. The entire operation had been elegant, efficient, and uniquely human in its creative approach. "The Void Dwellers are powerful," Rostova explained as they returned to Earth space, but they think in patterns established over millions of years. Humans bring fresh perspectives, unconventional solutions. We see possibilities they miss. Back in the conference chamber, the implications sank in. Admiral Zhang Wei asked the crucial question: how many people can undergo this transformation? What are the requirements? The process is selective, Rostova admitted. Not everyone can handle the cognitive expansion. We need individuals with strong mental flexibility, emotional stability, and most importantly, the ability to maintain their core identity while processing multidimensional information. We estimate about 3% of the human population has the necessary characteristics. 3% of 8 billion is still 240 million people, President Delgado calculated. That's a significant force. It's a start, Rostova agreed. But we need to begin immediately. The convergence is accelerating. Within 5 years, the dimensional barriers will weaken to critical levels. We need trained defenders in place before then. The discussion turned to practical matters. How would candidates be selected? Where would training take place? How would this affect Earth's political and social structures? Rostova had answers. The Pioneer will serve as the primary training facility initially. As more humans undergo transformation, we'll establish additional centers. The selection process will be voluntary, with rigorous testing to ensure compatibility. No one will be forced to change. And what about Earth's defense in the meantime? General Morrison pressed. The Void Dwellers are providing us with defensive technologies adapted for non-enhanced humans, Rostova replied. Energy shields that can reinforce dimensional boundaries, weapons that can affect multidimensional entities, early warning systems that can detect breaches before they form. She displayed schematics that made the scientists gasp. Technologies that violated known physics, yet somehow made perfect sense when viewed through the lens of multidimensional theory. We're also establishing a new organization, Rostova continued, the Sole Dimensional Defense Force, composed of both enhanced and non-enhanced humans working together. The enhanced will handle direct dimensional operations, while traditional forces provide support and planetary defense. As the meeting concluded, the delegates prepared to return to Earth with news that would change human civilization forever. Some were excited by the possibilities, others concerned about the implications, but all recognized that humanity stood at a pivotal moment in its history. Before they departed, Rostova shared one final revelation. There's something else you should know. The Void Dwellers chose us not just for our current capabilities, but for our potential. They've observed countless species throughout the multiverse, and they believe humans have the capacity to eventually surpass even them in our understanding and manipulation of dimensional physics. She paused, letting that sink in. In other words, they're not just recruiting allies for the current crisis. They're cultivating successors who might one day take their place as guardians of the multiverse. As the shuttles carried the delegates back to Earth, the Horizon Pioneer remained in orbit, a beacon of humanity's newfound destiny. Inside, the first volunteers were already arriving, ready to begin their transformation into something both more and fundamentally still human. The secrets of the Void Dwellers had been revealed, and with them, humanity's true place in the cosmic order. The question now was not whether humans would rise to the challenge, but how quickly they could prepare for the trials ahead. In the depths of space, reality itself held its breath, waiting to see if Earth's children would prove worthy of the trust placed in them by beings older than stars. Humanity's quantum leap. 6 months after the Horizon Pioneer's return, Earth had transformed into a planet preparing for cosmic war. The Sole Dimensional Defense Force, SDDF headquarters, rose from the Mojave Desert, its architecture a blend of human engineering and Void Dweller technology. Crystalline spires reached toward the sky, generating protective fields that shimmered like aurora borealis. Colonel Jack Reynolds stood on the observation deck, watching the latest batch of candidates arrive. As one of the first humans to undergo enhancement after the Pioneer crew, he served as the bridge between old and new military paradigms. His eyes, now capable of perceiving quantum fluctuations, tracked the dimensional stability readings that scrolled across his enhanced vision. "Status report," he requested, his thoughts interfacing directly with the facility's AI. "Batch 47 arriving now," responded Lieutenant Zora Ahmadi, her consciousness partially merged with the defense grid. 97 candidates, compatibility ratings above 94%. The selection algorithms are improving. Down in the training center, Dr. Yuki Tanaka oversaw the transformation process. The procedure had been refined significantly since the early days. Candidates now entered specialized chambers where Void Dweller nanites rebuilt their bodies cell by cell, while quantum field generators gradually expanded their consciousness. "Remember," Tanaka addressed the nervous candidates, "the process isn't about losing your humanity. It's about expanding it. You'll still be you, just more." Among the candidates stood Marcus Chen, a 24-year-old physicist whose theories about dimensional recursion had caught the attention of the selection committee. As the transformation began, he felt his mind unfold like a flower blooming in fast forward. Mathematical concepts he'd struggled with suddenly became intuitive. He could feel the quantum foam beneath reality, sense the vibrations of parallel dimensions. Meanwhile, in Earth orbit, the Horizon Pioneer had been joined by 5 more transformed vessels, each serving as a training center and dimensional monitoring station. Captain Rostova coordinated with her counterparts from various nations, creating a truly unified Earth defense network. "The convergence accelerates," she announced during a command briefing. "We're detecting increased breach attempts across all sectors. The entity we've designated as the Devourers are testing our defenses." The holographic display showed Earth surrounded by a web of energy signatures, the dimensional barriers that the SDDF now reinforced with both Void Dweller technology and human innovation. Red points indicated breach attempts, their frequency increasing daily. 3 weeks later, the first major incursion occurred. A Class 5 breach tore open near Mars, disgorging entities that defied description. Beams of dark energy and twisted physics that consumed matter and energy alike. The SDDF's first response fleet, consisting of both enhanced and traditional forces, engaged immediately. Commander Sarah Webb, now captain of the enhanced battlecruiser Prometheus, led the counterattack. "All units, implement Protocol Helix 9. Let's show them what humans can do." What followed demonstrated the perfect synthesis of human creativity and alien technology. Instead of direct confrontation, the fleet created a dimensional maze, using modified gravity generators to fold space around the invaders. Enhanced navigators plotted courses through 11-dimensional space, while non-enhanced gunners used quantum-locked weapons to strike at the entity's vulnerable phase states. Marcus Chen, now Lieutenant Chen of the Science Division, worked with his team to analyze the invaders' energy patterns. "They're using quantum tunneling to bypass our shields," he reported. "But if we inverse the polarity and create a standing wave pattern." His solution, implemented fleet-wide within seconds, turned the invaders' own abilities against them. The entities found themselves trapped in probability loops, unable to maintain cohesion in our universe. Within hours, the breach was sealed, and the invaders banished. The victory electrified Earth. Humanity had proven it could not only defend itself but innovate in ways that surprised even the Void Dwellers. Recruitment for the SDDF surged, with millions volunteering for testing. "We're seeing something unprecedented," Dr. Elena Petrov reported to the United Earth Council. "Human consciousness, when enhanced, doesn't just adapt to multidimensional awareness. It thrives in it. We're developing abilities and techniques that the Void Dwellers never anticipated." The next 2 years saw rapid advancement. Earth's cities began incorporating dimensional technology into their infrastructure. Transportation networks used controlled micro-breaches for instantaneous travel. Power grids tapped into zero-point energy extracted from quantum fluctuations. Medical technology advanced centuries in months, eliminating disease and extending human lifespans. But the true test came during what became known as the Battle of the Seventh Seal. A massive convergence event threatened to tear open 7 major breaches simultaneously, each large enough to allow a full-scale invasion. The Void Dwellers committed their ancient fleet to the defense, requesting Earth's assistance. Admiral John Way, now Supreme Commander of Earth Forces, coordinated the largest military operation in human history. All SDDF units, this is Overwatch Command. Today we prove that humanity stands as equals among the stars. The battle raged across multiple dimensions. Enhanced humans piloted ships that phase-shifted between realities, engaging enemies that existed in states of quantum superposition. Non-enhanced forces provided crucial support, using predictive algorithms to anticipate breach patterns and deploy defensive measures. In the midst of the chaos, Lieutenant Chen made a breakthrough. Working with a team of both human and Void Dweller scientists, he developed a resonance pattern that could not only seal breaches but fundamentally alter the local dimensional constants, making our universe inhospitable to the invaders. "It's like changing the laws of physics in a localized area," he explained excitedly. "We're not just defending, we're rewriting reality itself." The technique, dubbed the Chen recursion, proved decisive. As human fleets implemented the pattern across all 7 breach points, the invading forces found themselves literally dissolving, unable to maintain coherence in our altered spacetime. The victory had profound implications. The Void Dwellers, witnessing humanity's innovative approach to dimensional warfare, formally recognized Earth as a full partner in the defense of the multiverse. More surprisingly, they began adopting human techniques and perspectives, leading to a true fusion of cultures. Captain Rostova, now ambassador to the Void Dwellers, addressed the United Earth Assembly. "We've proven that humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our enhanced abilities. It's our fundamental nature, our creativity, our adaptability, our refusal to accept limitations. These qualities make us invaluable in the cosmic arena." 5 years after the Pioneers' return, Earth had become a hub of interdimensional activity. The SDDF Academy on Luna trained defenders from across the galaxy. Human scientists collaborated with beings from multiple realities, pushing the boundaries of knowledge. Artists created works that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, visible fully only to enhanced consciousness. The transformation hadn't been without challenges. Some humans struggled with the rapid changes, leading to social support programs and careful integration policies. But overall, humanity had not just survived its elevation to cosmic citizenship, it had excelled. In a ceremony broadcast across multiple dimensions, the Void Dwellers formally inducted humanity into the Guardians of Reality, an alliance of advanced species dedicated to maintaining multiversal stability. As part of the ceremony, they revealed their true forms, beings of pure consciousness that had long ago transcended physical existence. "You have earned the right to know," their representative communicated. "We were once like you, bound to a single dimension, limited by physical forms. But we evolved as you are evolving now. In time, humanity may surpass even us." The final surprise came when they announced the construction of the Nexus Prime, a massive station at the confluence of multiple dimensions that would serve as humanity's base for exploring the deeper mysteries of the multiverse. The station would be jointly operated by humans and Void Dwellers, a symbol of the partnership that had saved reality itself. As the ceremony concluded, Lieutenant Chen stood with his enhanced colleagues and non-enhanced friends, watching Earth turn below them. The planet glowed with new energies, its cities pulsing with lights that existed in spectrums beyond normal vision. "What's next?" someone asked. Captain Rostova, her form now shifting between human and pure energy at will, smiled. "Everything. We've defended our reality, proven our worth, and earned our place among the stars. Now we explore, we learn, we grow. The multiverse is infinite, and so is human potential." In the space around Earth, ships of impossible design prepared for journeys to realms beyond imagination. Humanity had taken its quantum leap, not just surviving first contact, but emerging as leaders in a cosmic community. The ghost ship that had returned bearing warnings of doom had instead delivered humanity's greatest opportunity. Earth's children had answered the call, proving that in a multiverse of infinite possibilities, human ingenuity and spirit remained the most powerful forces of all. And somewhere in the vast expanse of the multiverse, other realities took notice, watching with interest as the newest guardians began their eternal vigil, ready to face whatever challenges the infinite cosmos might bring.